the Kelly Wells Show. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, joined by the head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears men. As we are on air this evening, currently ranked third in the nation. The latest ratings to be released this evening, and possibly could have those before this show goes off the air. He is the all-time winningest coach in UPike men's basketball history, currently off to a 12-1 start and 3-0 in the Mid-South Conference. Coach Kelly Wells, first of all, first time we've seen you since the new year. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year. It's been a great Christmas, New Year break for our guys, and had a couple games to talk about, but really been having a good time practicing and trying to get ourselves where we need to be for this tough stretch in January and February.
Absolutely, and of course, got an early start to the Mid-South Conference season. Got a couple of big wins on the road before the holidays. And then you get time over the Christmas break, over the New Year's break, when guys aren't in class. The game schedule not as tough as it becomes later in the year. How important is that to the growth of a team?
Well, I think chemistry-wise, it's very important. The level of competition kind of puts you at a disadvantage a little bit when you come back to playing some talented teams. I think we fell into that trap a little bit against Bluefield. Found a way to win, but certainly our games leading into that weren't real competitive, and I thought we had a little bit of a lapse there. But for us, chemistry is so important. I mean, other than your talent of your team, if you don't have good chemistry, you're going to struggle. But our guys have seemed to get along well, and they don't enjoy the practice time, but we've seen a lot of growth in the last 2 to 3 weeks because of the time we've been able to put on the court together.
Not just that, but because of no classes, they spend more time together, and obviously that helps build chemistry too.
No question. We travel to every restaurant in town, feeding them, and the guys get to meet the community in that way a little bit. And the weather's been so bad lately, we've tried to corral them inside as much as we can, but that also brings some togetherness because they're around each other all day and all evening, and have opportunities to get to know each other better.
And with a new semester in small college basketball, many times there are additions, and we've talked about this, and one of our guests tonight, as part of the Kelly Wells Show, Kenny Manigault, now a part of the team. Already we've seen tremendous contributions from him in just a couple of games.
Yeah, we call KJ our Christmas present. We got a nice Christmas present to break, and he's earned the opportunity to play, and really did a good job academically and coming along, and really has grown, and we threw him to the fire, and without KJ Manigault, Bluefield, we might not have gotten a victory. Not that he was the only guy that played well, but he certainly helped us in that game do some good things.
And he will make the highlight roll tonight when we take a look at that. There's a big boy play, and something you don't really expect from someone who's not played in a while. Shaking off the rust, as we say, seemed to step right onto the court and be fine.
Yeah, well, it goes back to the chemistry thing. The guys want him to do well. He wants to do well. He's fit in extremely well. He's been able to practice with us. That's been very key. And he's like the old man on the team. He kind of looks after everybody, and the guys respect him for what he does and how he acts. And the two guys I've got with you tonight are old men of our group, and they kind of lead by example. Not so much by mouth, but by example.
You said KJ was the old man, and I thought you were disrespecting Bruce Reed, because I thought surely that was the old man of the team right there. And he's added that maturity on the court. You see that in Bruce Reed. You and I talked during the summer, and you said, you're going to love this guy. And I think all the Pikeville fans have fallen in love with the play of Bruce Reed because he adds that maturity on the floor. He's a guy that doesn't get rattled, and certainly a key part of this year's team as well. A couple of guests coming up later on tonight's show, the Kelly Wells Show. We talked UPike men's basketball, currently 12-1. The only loss coming on the road at Marietta at Life University, and the Bears now 3-0 in the Mid-South Conference. Next up, Lindsey Wilson Thursday night at the Expo Center. On Saturday, it is Cumberland University. Tremendous team in their own right. A couple of tough opponents coming up this week, Thursday and Saturday. Your chance to see the Bears. Coach Wells bothered a little bit by a shaky voice this evening. We're going to step out. We'll let you walk us through some highlights from some recent action, and we'll meet a couple of Bear players tonight. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.
Adventure
Welcome back in. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings. Today's Appalachian Wireless, and of course the presenting sponsor of the Kelly Wells Show, and a tremendous sponsor to the University of Pikeville and the men's and women's basketball programs. Kelly Wells coming off a couple of wins recently since the Christmas break. We'll get our first look at KJ Manigault back to conference play at Bluefield on the road. That's one of the highlights that we'll take a look at tonight. A little better competition than you'd seen in the last 4, 5, 6 games. How tough is it for your team to adjust to a team that will be that competitive, as opposed to some games that they've gone out and they knew they were huge favorites?
I just try to be honest with them. They know when you're lying to them, so there's no use in trying to fool them. And we tell them when we're more talented, and we set goals, individual goals and team goals, for games that we're superior, and also for games that there's going to be great competition. And we really try to focus on playing to our level of ability versus our opponents, no matter who we play, because we feel like our team is good enough to beat anyone if we play our style of play. So we really try to set goals and try to be very honest with them. And when they play poorly, we're honest with them. When they play well, we're honest with them. But you're not going to trick guys this age. You got to be honest with them and let them know what's in front of them.
Number 3 ranked team in the country. Currently, we're awaiting the latest ratings to come out. With that being the case, a national championship a couple of years ago, the Bears still get the best effort from any team that they face, particularly on the road in the conference.
And we like that. We like the fact that people think we're a good quality basketball team, and they've started figuring out since the Life University game when we got their best on the road, and our guys were kind of shell-shocked, and it showed in the way we played. And since then, we've really been mature, with the exception of the first half at Bluefield, of being ready to play against competition, and they know what's at stake. And one of our goals has been to try to stay undefeated in the league and finish the season undefeated this year. And there's a lot that goes into that. Each week's going to be competitive, and you have to be ready to play and take no nights off. And if we do that, we'll have a chance to do it. But the first night we take off will be the first night we lose.
Taking a look at the schedule the rest of the way, there are no off nights from here on out. It's Mid-South Conference. Let's step out and take a look at some highlights. We'll go all the way back to New Year's Eve when the Bears took on Tennessee Temple. This game at the U-Pike Gym. Coach will get things started with Elisha Justice.
Yeah, here's EJ creating havoc on the defense. He did a great job of getting into the paint, and here's a nice individual move by Josh Whitaker with a shot fake and a rip through, and getting right into our press here. Another half-court set right here for us, and Bruce Reed from the top. He gives us such a luxury of being able to shoot from the perimeter and also post up. But again, penetration and pitch. Here's Bruce again. And what about KJ here with a great follow-through? And this is kind of where KJ kind of relaxed a little bit and monkeys off his back with his great highlight dunk. And Bruce, we'll call that an assist, not a missed shot from Bruce Reed there.
Exactly. We got a little slow motion on that follow-up dunk.
That was great. Here we are in our transition. There's Bruce Reed with a great dunk leading the press. Here's some clips of our defense, and it was really, really, really good in the full court. Most of the game against Tennessee Temple, who's not a terrible team, but we exposed a lot of their weaknesses. But we did a great job getting a 10-second count. Josh and Bruce with a great trap here at the half court, and we just played with some great energy during that segment.
Backcourt seems so much smaller at the gym.
Yeah, no question. We really played well there. Here's Bruce Reed again with a 3 and the trail with a break, and then right into it on the ball. And against their defense, they didn't really have any answer for our penetration. Colt Chapman with a great penetration pitch to KJ with the flush. Here we are with Devontae McClung. The second half pulls up for a long 3 and knocks it home against their 2-3 zone. Again, another half-court set for us, some ball screen action. Trey Rakes with a great entry pass here, and Hobo McCoy drains a long 3 from the wing.
So many shooters on this team.
We do, and here's another one. Here's Trey Rakes shooting one, and Dalton Cornett with the hustle play to tip it over to Hobo for a layup. Again, they played a lot of 2-3 zone, especially late in the game, and we did a fine job of passing that basketball around and getting a lot of good looks for folks. And that was Bruce Haynes got his first basket there.
Now traveled to Bluefield on a snowy night on the Virginia-West Virginia border at the Mini Dome.
First play of the game, we did a great job of executing here, and Bruce again with the trail 3.
I think Bruce Reed likes to shoot anywhere he is. It doesn't matter the gym.
He can shoot it. There's no question about it. Here we do a great follow by KJ, and again sets up Bruce for another 3, and again KJ with a second offensive rebound of his possession. Then he gets a reward by taking it to the cup. Really hard gym to shoot in. It looks great because we got great technology here, but it was really dark in that facility. Really,
I think the guys outdid themselves with the cameras.
No question. And then again, there's our transition game. We did a good job of getting the ball off the backboard and getting to the hole. And when we didn't settle, we got this quite a bit. We shot I think 28 free throws for the night, so we did a good job of getting to the line. I went with our smaller lineup here for a segment and got into our 2-2-1, and Josh Whitaker really did a great job on the top of this by creating havoc on their guards, got a steal and a put back, and started bringing us back into the action.
The second half play here in Bluefield was a 3-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, we come back pretty steady. KJ's doing a good job of keeping his head up, trying to see traffic. Nobody stops the basketball and gives him an opportunity to score a great layup coast to coast. Here's some of our ball screen action again. Elijah gets him a three off the ball screen with a good screen by Bruce Reed, and banged on the three there for us. Out of bounds underneath, good possession for us, and we got to get a little bit better out of bounds underneath, but that's a good look. One of our sets out of bounds to get Josh Whitaker an easy bucket. Here they are in some more zone action, and Keala King with a tough shot on the line. I wish he'd have taken a step back. He'd have had a three out of that. But here's a good steal. Keala King leading the break for us and hitting EJ in a 2-on-1 situation on a fast break.
And it's something we've seen. We talk about Kenny Manigault and the addition at the second semester. Seems to add new energy to this team.
Well, it gives us some more depth too, and guys know now that they can play as hard as they can play because we've got some reserves that can come in and give them a break. Nobody likes to come out of the game, but it affords us an opportunity to play 8, maybe even 9 strong players, and that's going to be good for us down the road because you never know with foul trouble, you never know with sickness or injury.
Sure.
And, we've got some good depth, and we've kind of got our rotation set at about 8 or 9 guys, and they've responded well. We've just got to continue to grow and continue to get better each day.
And the next step to doing that, Thursday night at the Expo Center, Lindsey Wilson, the women tip off at 6, the men at 8, back to Mid-South Conference play, and then on Saturday, Cumberland University in town. And we'll get a little scouting report on those two teams when you return. We'll step out, and when we come back, we'll step into the Bears Den. We'll meet a couple of the Bears players. Kenny Manigault and Bruce Reed coming up next on the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in to the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce. We talk U-Pike men's basketball, and Coach Kelly Wells will rejoin us momentarily. Right now we step into the Bears Den and a chance for you to meet a couple of the Bears players. 6'8" senior out of Kansas, number 21, Bruce Reed, averaging nearly 18 points a game, nearly 6 rebounds, shooting 60% from the field. He's a welcome addition to this U-Pike program. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Bruce Reed. And Bruce, welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Before we talk basketball, let's talk about Bruce Reed, the student athlete. Let's talk about your academic major and maybe what some future plans are for you when you finish up your career.
My major is communications, and after school, I still want to play ball for a little bit, and afterwards, I'm not really sure.
Communications major.
Yes, sir.
Broadcasting? You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. These guys threaten my job, and I worry about these communications majors. Bruce Reed, we hope that you have a long career after you finish up here at the University of Pikeville, and certainly can see that happening. Let's talk about Bruce Reed, the player. Let's talk about when you first played organized basketball and realized that this is something you wanted to do at the next levels.
I first started playing in middle school, and I mean, I've always wanted to play outside and be active, so middle school, it was really fun to actually get to start playing, so picked it up and started running in 7th grade. So after that, it's just kind of been what I do. So.
That's a little late. A lot of kids these days, we hear about kindergarten kids, 1st and 2nd grade kids that are playing organized basketball. So that's a little late. And my point is, you don't have to play 1,000 games before you reach middle school to be a successful basketball player. I have an issue with some of our sports guys that too many young athletes play too many games before they ever get to middle school. Bruce Reed, you have been a welcome addition to the U-Pike program, a new addition. Let's talk about your transition. Talk about your high school career, where you played, and then the road from high school to the University of Pikeville.
I graduated from Olathe East High School in Kansas. We had a really good squad. We went to state tournament back-to-back my junior and senior year. We lost first round both times. And after high school, I went to Hutchinson Junior College in Kansas for 2 years. After that, I sat out, redshirted at Morehead State, and then I played the next year at Morehead State, and then ended up here in Pikeville for my senior year. So,
how did you go from Morehead to Pikeville?
They had a coaching change, and I felt this was a better place for me to be. So,
Coach Kelly Wells.
Yes, sir.
He's on the recruiting trail. Talking to Bruce Reed. You've got a coaching change at Morehead. We'd love to have you at Pikeville. Tell us about that sale. What was the sales pitch from Coach Kelly Wells?
I actually knew one of the assistants, Coach Matthew Taylor. He's a really good dude, and came down here on a visit, met Coach Wells, and he seemed like a really humble man, a really good dude to come play for, so I wanted to make that move.
Similar personalities between the two of you, both quiet, soft-spoken. That's how you appear, but you're a fierce competitor on the court. How does a soft-spoken, quiet guy play with that kind of ferocity on the court?
When I first started playing, my mom was shocked that I was so aggressive on the court, but really, I mean, it's just part of the game. I just like to play, so
You started up.
I just come off aggressive, I guess.
Coach Wells has called you and Kenny Manigault the two old men of this team. How do you like that role with a bunch of young guys that you're playing with?
Everybody likes to give me a hard time because it takes me a little longer to get loose than everybody else, but that's all right.
It is all right. Talking with Coach Wells about Bruce Reed's game and what you've added, of course, an inside presence, but also you're able to step out on the perimeter. How does that make things tougher for teams to defend Bruce Reed?
I mean, it just depends on the matchups. I mean, if there's a smaller guy, I like to take him down low. Bigger man, I like to bring him outside and put it on the floor and make him guard a little bit. So,
Coach Wells has talked about this team and how this team is growing during the Christmas break, the New Year's break, still out of classes, but back in the gym at the expo, getting some work done, spending time eating meals together, and growing as a team. How close is this team growing from a player's perspective? Is the chemistry there for this team to go on and do big boy things at the national tournament?
I feel like we've taken really big steps this year, and I feel like this time, the holiday break, we really got the focus on just basketball, and I feel like that really helped our team come together. And we've had some good road wins, and we're starting to build up some momentum. So.
All right. The Mid-South Conference, a tough road. Lindsey Wilson coming up Thursday, Cumberland University Saturday. Bruce Reed, we want to wish you the best of luck in those games and the rest of the year. And truly, you have been a great addition to the program and quickly becoming a fan favorite here at Pikeville. They love watching the old guy play.
Thank you.
I had to get an old guy jab in. Sorry, Bruce. Much younger than me, but I do understand how it does take longer to get loosened up. Bruce Reed, our guest in the Bears Den, will step out, come back. KJ Manigault when we return on the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.
Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter. Yeah.
Welcome back in the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce as we talk U-Pike men's basketball. Reminding you, stay tuned immediately following the Kelly Wells Show. It's the Joanna McNamee Show as we talk U-Pike women's basketball. Joined now in the Bears Den by the newest addition on the court to the U-Pike program, Kenny KJ Manigault. And Kenny, a 6'5" junior out of South Carolina. Welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Thanks for having me.
You've had some time off before being back in game action. We want to talk about that, but first let's talk about Kenny Manigault, the student. What's your academic major? What are your future plans?
I'm majoring in sports management. After school, I'm not really sure what I want to do yet. I want to play basketball, but after that, I'm not sure.
Keep playing the game as long as you can.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. When did your organized basketball career begin?
I had to say probably when I was 6, playing up in West Ashley, South Carolina. It was a little small gym. My dad was coaching me.
Right.
That's probably when I fell in love with it also.
Young guy, fell in love with the game early, realized that there was a passion there for that. You had quite a high school career as well. Let's talk about that.
I went to Pinewood Prep, Somerville, South Carolina. I won 4 state championships. My senior year,
Hang on. Let's repeat that. 4 state championships.
Yeah, 4 state
A little
championships.
greedy, aren't you?
I mean, I like to win.
There you go.
My senior year, I got Player of the Year of the conference. And then we got to play Oak Hill in the National High School Invitational. But we lost by 30. So, I mean, I guess it was a good experience, but
Right.
we still lost by 30.
Right. Let's talk about now your college career. After high school, let's talk about KJ Manigault's travels through the college game.
I went to Wichita State when I graduated, stayed there for a year, and then went to Division II school, South Carolina Aiken. Only got to play there for a semester. I got academically ineligible.
Right.
So I'm sitting out the past 3 years. And December 31st, it actually made 3 years and about 5 days since I played in the game.
Wow.
So that first game back, I was real antsy. I had a lot of energy, too much energy.
Right.
What Coach Wells was telling me.
How tough was that for you, being a guy who wants to compete, wants to put on the uniform, be under the lights? Practice is practice, but games, it doesn't matter what gym you're in, whether it's the Expo, a gym, a small gym as a 6-year-old, games are different. How tough is that as a guy who has to wait 3 years between games?
It was tough. I played a whole lot of open gym, so I guess that's probably why my body is feeling the way it is. But my family and the new coaching staff I have now that stayed behind me helped me get through that little hump.
Sure.
Now I'm playing, so.
There you go. The return has been made, already hit the highlight reel tonight, and we saw a tremendous follow-up dunk on the rebound. What went through your mind? What were your emotions after that play?
All I could do was smile. Once when it happened, that's all I can do.
I expected a Twitter tweet that said, KJ Manigault, I'm back. Because it was like you had not missed a game. It is like you had gone from one to the next, and there didn't seem to be a lot of rust there. Outside of being antsy, as you called it, or anxious, a little jacked up is what we said. He was hyper, a lot of energy. Outside of that, didn't seem to be a lot of rust.
Well, I'm glad you think that. I felt real rusty.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess I got over it after I got the tip back.
Couple of games in now. How long is the process for you before you feel like that the rust is shaking off?
Well, after the Bluefield game, I feel like the rush is shaking off, but we'll see Thursday if
Right.
it really is.
Bluefield a little tougher competition than you guys had seen the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Stepping into the Mid-South Conference, whether home or away, it's a challenge every night. In your experience of being around this team, on the practice court, now being in game play, how ready is this team for the Mid-South Conference run?
Well, I think everybody's ready to go. Everybody's hungry. Everybody knows we can actually win the whole thing. And now that the polls came out with #1, I think every night out we'll be able to come out with the win.
There you go. The ultimate goal of this U-Pike men's basketball team is what?
To win the national championship.
We like that kind of thinking.
Right.
KJ Manigault, welcome addition to the U-Pike program. If you haven't seen him, he joined the Bears on the court second semester and will be at the Expo Center Thursday night against Lindsey Wilson, Saturday as Cumberland University comes to town. KJ, thanks for being here tonight. Best of luck this weekend and the rest of the year. It's been our pleasure to see you join the team on the court.
Thank you.
Kenny Manigault, our guest in the Bears Den. Coach Kelly Wells returns. We'll get a quick scout on Lindsey Wilson and Cumberland U coming up next. The Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.
Hey now, come on, let's go. The music's playing, I've got to move on to go out. No more delaying, pack my things up, carefree, adventures waiting. I'm heading out to see the rest of the world.
Welcome back in. The Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce, your host, along with our coach, the all-time winningest coach in Pikeville men's history, off to a 12-1 start, 3-0 in the Mid-South Conference, and the NAI Division I men's ratings have been released, and U-Pike back at #1 for the first time since 2011. Coach, congratulations.
Well, it means a lot more now than it was back then because we just kind of were given that after our national championship. And
Sure.
This time we've earned our way to that position, so it's exciting for our guys. We understand the work that's ahead, and the value of it is a motivating factor only because it means nothing if you don't maintain this throughout. But it's certainly a good honor and a reward for our guys' hard work.
Absolutely, and of course it also draws a little focus from your opponents, whether they respect the program or not. Prior to a #1 ranking or a top 10 ranking, even with #1, that presents a target, a chance for a team to knock it off. And #1 now in the country, Lindsey Wilson. Quick scouting report on the Raiders. Oh,
Hey,
hang on, just a second.
What about these guys?
We've got a couple of guys walking on. Guys, I don't know if you even realized or not,
Get behind her.
but Coach Kelly Wells celebrating a birthday today.
I did everything I could yesterday not to get a pie in the face or
Yeah.
anything. So
We're going to try to prevent that, but we will get a shot. Happy birthday, Coach. And from all the U-Pike basketball fans and the community, happy birthday. And we give you a cake. You get a #1 ranking. These two guys part of that. And we just look for continued success the rest of the year.
you can't beat that. And I tell you, when it gets down to it, the wins and losses are fun. But to watch guys like Bruce and KJ develop and to have their success, that's really why we do what we do. It's great.
KJ, Bruce, little surprise for you. I don't sing. It's up to you guys.
Hey, listen, they can't even sing a joyful noise. So
We'll let you
just
do that.
pass on that. We'll pass on that.
We'll let you do that at practice. But Coach, happy birthday from
Thank
all
you.
of us, and you're one of our favorites, and we hope you have the best birthday ever.
That's awesome.
Lindsey Wilson coming up Thursday.
A very good team. Their record's not indicating how well they are. They're one game above 500. I think they're 8-7. But they've got some guys now healthy that were hurt early. They've played a tough schedule, and our guys know the significance, and they know how good they are. We started our scout yesterday, and they can see that we've got to be prepared to play. And, Paul Peck's won over 500 games, and he's not going to change what he does. He's very successful, and his teams are always good. And hopefully our guys have a decent little memory. There was a team that kept us from winning the conference tournament last year, and that was them. So we have a little bit of payback we'd like to see, too.
Absolutely. We'll look for these guys on the court and you as well to pick up your first win after this birthday. Guys, let's cut the cake. We're going to go to a break. The Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Thursday night at the Expo, your next chance to see the Bears. Saturday, the Bears will host Cumberland University at the Expo. Be sure when you see Coach Wells this weekend, wish him a happy birthday. He's 1 year older, and Bruce Reed is catching him every day. Well, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. The Joanna McNamee Show coming up next. We'll talk U-Pike women's basketball.